So thank you for coming. Obviously, we've got the group behind us. You have a list of who they are and their speaking order. They will step up and have a few words to say. Dick will address you, and then when they're all done, Dick will step back up to the podium for a short question and answer if you would like to ask any questions. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, Dick Dobson, candidate for Erie County Sheriff.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Dick Dobson, and I'm going to be running for the office of Sheriff of Erie County this year. I believe I have some impressive credentials to bring to this race. I spent 32 years of my life in the Erie County Sheriff's Department. I came up through the ranks: deputy, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, and afternoon watch commander. I got my bachelor's degree when I was on the job. It wasn't easy working, raising a family, and studying for exams and stuff like that, but it did pay off. I've written policy and procedure for the Sheriff's Department. I know administrative procedures. I have, in the past, authored a number of things for the department in dealing with juvenile offenses. I have worked for 6 different sheriffs, both major political parties. Each of those sheriffs had an individual style, a different way of doing things. I will say this: I learned from each and every one of those sheriffs. I learned what works, and I learned what doesn't work. I think that makes me a very unique candidate for this job. In the past, sheriffs have come from other police departments, cities, towns. I believe I'll be the first and only one to ever come up as a career deputy sheriff through the ranks. I'd like to talk just a little bit now about the conditions within the Sheriff's Department. There's been a large number of distressing items that have been published in the press over the past year or so. I'm not going to go into all of them. They'll come up during the year, during the campaign between now and November. But I will say this: as a result of those litigations, as a result of the lawsuits, there's been hundreds of thousands of dollars, taxpayers' dollars, that have gone out the window. Money that could have been better spent for training deputies, for getting better equipment for the deputies so that they could better do their job. The morale, especially within the jail management services, is abysmally low. The dedicated men and women in the Sheriff's Department feel that they're not getting the support or the leadership that they deserve. They're being forced to work outrageously long hours, mandated overtime that takes them away from their families, that takes them away from their personal lives. They're getting burnt out. They're tired. With the low morale and with the officers being burned out like that, performance suffers. A number of inmates have been mistakenly released because of paperwork snafus. A sergeant who thought he was well-intended trying to find contraband within the jail ended up being arrested for assault. I'm not justifying that, it was wrong. But I can understand how this mandated overtime takes its toll on these people. I can tell you this: when I get to be the sheriff, things are going to change. Those deputies, the true professionals that serve the public every day, will be recognized for the contributions they are making. They won't be overlooked. They'll have a more clear-cut promotional ladder that's more tailored to the civil service system the way it's supposed to be, not on favoritism, not on who you know, not on contributions. Things will be different. The current sheriff has been in for almost a decade. You have to ask yourself, have things improved? I think not. I think things have gotten worse. As I said, things will change after I'm the new sheriff. I thank you for your time. I have some people with me today, one of which is my sister Robin.
Good morning. My name is Robin Smith. I work with the New York State Department of Corrections, and I am Dick Dobson's sister. Dick is the only candidate in Erie County in recent history to have worked his way through the ranks exclusively. There is no doubt that Dick is the kind of sheriff that Erie County both needs and deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. A very good friend of mine, retired Sergeant Jim Patton, Erie County Sheriff's Department.
Good morning. My name is Jim Patton. I've worked with the Sheriff's Office for 27 plus years. I work with Dick and under Dick. I understand his character, his leadership, and that's why I'm here to support him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. And a very dear friend, Kevin Loftus.
Good morning, everybody.
Sheriff's Department retired.
Good morning. I spent 34 years on the Erie County Sheriff's Department, and 29 of those years with Dick as a deputy together. Then I saw him rise to the rank of sergeant and lieutenant. He was my supervisor, first-rate, top-rate supervisor. He is a man of integrity and character and fairness. And like everybody else is saying, nobody in the history of the Sheriff's Department worked their entire career and ran for the office, which is a surprise to me. But finally, we have that man right here, and this is the man to do the job. And I'm proud to be here today. I've been out for 8 years, and this is the man to do the job.
Thank you, Kevin.
All
I
right.
really appreciate that. At this time, gentlemen, if anyone has any questions that they'd like to throw up, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
The Erie County Sheriff's Office runs a budget of about $100 million annually. What kind of experience have you had in the past to balance those types of books? And with the county always teetering on a budget crisis, how are you gonna manage the department like that?
The budget for the Sheriff's Department is in excess of $101 million. The bulk of that is taken up in salaries, which is one of the problems that I just tried to address. The county, the sheriff, keep saying that it's cheaper to make people work overtime than to hire new deputies. But what they don't realize is how it's burning them out, how it's eroding and deteriorating the workforce. As far as balancing a budget, my checkbook has been balanced for 30 years. I don't have a problem with that. I know where the money should be spent, and I know where money is going out the window. I hope that answers your question. Anything else, gentlemen?
Personally, why did you make this decision?
Why did I make this decision?
You're retired, right?
I'm retired now, yes.
All of a sudden, here you are today, coming back and working.
The Sheriff's Department was more than a job, more than a career to me. The Sheriff's Department was my second family. I think only people who've been in the military or paramilitary organizations like police and fire realize the camaraderie that we have. We might have an argument in the morning that you got an hour overtime more than me, but in the evening, we jump in front of bullets to protect ourselves. I come from a law enforcement family. My Uncle Pat was a Buffalo police officer. I used to walk the beat with him when I was 15 years old. I was very much impressed with the way he treated people. My sister Robin, a prison guard. My cousin Christina, 26 years with the Marshal Service. My son Kevin, 14 years as a New York State Trooper. This is my life. I miss it, and it troubles me that things are not going as well as they should go within the Sheriff's Department. I truly, honestly think that I can make a difference, that I can make a better department by using the greatest asset that we have, the people that are there now. I hope that answered your question.
In your campaign video, you mentioned something of issues between the district attorney's office and the sheriff's department, but it was basically a one-line statement. Can you get into what you're trying to come across to the public with that?
Yes, there is something that happened quite recently that was reported in the media that troubled me, and that was basically a home invasion where a lady was shot. Mistakenly, they were looking for her daughter, who was a witness for the district attorney's office. I would like to do more to work with the district attorney in conjunction with him in protecting some of these people. We need people, especially in this environment of street gangs, to come forward and cooperate with the police. We need to protect those people. Manpower is our biggest problem. How do you protect somebody 24/7 for a month, 2 months, 3 months? It's very difficult. We have to, as a law enforcement community, cooperate to try to help the district attorney in this effort.
That kind of dovetails on my next question. You were talking about more cooperation between not only the sheriff's department but other agencies. Are you looking to make like a county-wide police force, kind of like what's in LA County, where they also patrol the city streets as well, if the city contracts you folks out?
That is not something that I see on the horizon.
Can you kind of talk about what more cooperation, just
Well, the cooperation, I believe, speaks for itself. More interacting with sharing intelligence information, who and what the bad guys are, and how they're impacting the community. Plain and simple. Gentlemen?
Dick, Glenn, what's the first and most important change that you'd like to make once you get off as sheriff?
The first and most important thing, I would eliminate the favoritism. I believe under the current administration, there are too many chiefs, not enough Indians. There are people who did not come up through the ranks, who were appointed not on what they know, but who they know. That will change. I'm not saying I'm going to walk in there and with a clean broom sweep everybody out. That's not true. There are a lot of professionals, but there will be promotional exams. I won't let promotional lists expire and then say, well, because the list is expired, I have to appoint so-and-so for whatever reason. That's not going to happen. Those deputies are going to see a clear promotional ladder in front of them and know that they can compete on their merits.
how would you go about changing those types of promotion steps within, I mean, I think the sheriffs are a union organization. How would you go about dealing with the union in that aspect?
There are 3 separate unions within the Erie County Sheriff's Department. The Police Patrol Services has a PBA, and then you have a separate bargaining unit for the correctional facility and a third bargaining unit for the holding center. I plan to work with all 3 of those units. I believe in collective bargaining.
Sounds like those folks might get riled up, though, if you go ahead and stop changing the promotional way that things have been done in the past couple of years.
I don't think so. I think the rank and file will welcome the chance to competitively compete for a promotion. Period.
Dick, clearly you've had your own tragedy related to officer safety. When you talk about the excessive overtime and things like that, is that something you want to address with the safety of the deputies?
There is nothing more important to me than officer safety. I have been injured on the job. I've been stabbed, I've been shot at, I've been beat up and left on the side of the road. Ours is a dangerous profession. We have to do whatever we can to protect our own. There are people out there who would take our life in a heartbeat. Patty Peretti. Yeah, enough said there. Yes, officer safety is extremely important to me. I will do everything I can to make sure the deputies in the Erie County Sheriff's Department get the best training and the best equipment that this county can afford. And I know it's a tough budget.
Any other questions, guys? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate it.